Hello.
Hello.
Today we're going to be teaching you how to make hardtack.
Hardtack was made during the Civil War, and it was mainly used in the North, but sometimes Northern soldiers traded with the Southern soldiers, so Southern soldiers got hardtack too.
Alright, for this recipe we're only going to need a couple of ingredients. First, you're going to want to get 2 cups of flour. Second thing you're going to want is 3/4 cup of water. Next, you're going to use 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. Normally we like to use this canola oil, the healthy choice. Next, we're going to be using 6 pinches of salt, and that's about all we need. So when we come back to you, we're going to show you how to make this.
This hardtack was called hardtack because it was hard as concrete.
Alright, to start this recipe off, we're going to be putting 2 cups of flour in this bowl. We're using a 1/2 cup measure, so we're going to get a nice 4 scoops going. Alright.
The recipe also calls for a 3/4 cup of water, so this is a half. So I'm going to fill in a half of this. And then a tablespoon of vegetable oil.
Alright, next thing we're going to want to add is 6 pinches of some salt. I just like to dump this in my hand, take pinches from there. Alright. And now we're going to want to go ahead and give that a stir.
Yummy.
Sam, why don't you go ahead and give that a stir while I dump this out.
Well, in the Civil War, the Unions had it better off. They had more food, better clothing, and better than the South, because the South, they were surrounded by the Union troops, and they couldn't get any supplies in, so they had to use what they had, and they didn't have that much.
All right. Next thing we're gonna want to do, we're gonna get our hands dirty in this one. The next thing we're gonna want to do, we're gonna knead this dough out. Just gonna wanna get our hands in there and just keep kneading it. By the way, before you start this, you have to preheat your stove to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Just letting you know. Thank you, Ari.
Yep.
So right now we're basically just kneading out this dough. Just going to get it to a nice consistency, get all those bumps and lumps out, and then we're going to get ready to bake it.
You're very welcome.
I was going to turn into a cracker, so we're just going to want to spread that out on the tray. Sam, you want to get in there a little bit?
Yes.
You're just going to spread that out.
Let's work this out. Jake, would you like to take another crack at it, or?
Sam, I think we're about done here. Alright, after we flatten this guy out, next thing we want to do, pop this in our oven for approximately 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you're going to want to take that out and flip it over and cook it on the other side for 30 minutes. So you get a nice, even cook on both sides. And thank you, that's how you make hardtack.
Have a nice day.
Alright, for this next recipe, this is called the Idiot's Delight. For the first part, we have to boil together some ingredients before we make the batter. So I'm going to turn this over to my man, Sam Hurwitz, and he'll teach you how to do this.
Well, if the first thing it says is to get 1 cup of brown sugar. So, this is 1 cup, so we just... There you go, 1 cup brown sugar. Then we need 1 cup of raisins. Nice.
Sam.
There we go. There we go. 1 cup of raisins, and then 1 tablespoon of butter, and another tablespoon of vanilla, and 3 cups of water. Thank you, Jake. 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And then we take this over here, and we are boiling.
Alright, next thing we're going to be making is a batter to this cake. First ingredient we're going to want to put in is 7 teaspoons of butter. Here we have measured out 7 teaspoons of butter. We're just going to go ahead and drop that on our bowl. Next thing we want to do is add half a cup of white sugar. This is 1/4 cup, so we're just going to put in 2 scoops. Excuse you, Ari. Alright, the next ingredient will be baking powder. And we're going to put in 2 teaspoons of this.
Did you know that down during the war, there were no coffee beans because of the blockade of the Union troops all around covering the South? So the Confederates made coffee out of anything other than coffee.
Alright, next ingredient we're going to put in is 1/2 cup of milk. And lastly, we're going to put in 1 cup flour. Alright, and now we just gotta stir that up.
I plop it on to the batter.
By the way, before we cook this, we're gonna want to preheat our oven to 350.
Good job, Ari.
Alright, next thing we're gonna want to do, well, first we put our batter into this tray, as you can tell. The tray, Ari. And next we're going to take our boiling mixture, and we're just going to go ahead and pour that on over it. Get all those raisins on there. Doesn't that look delicious, folks?
And then we're going
to plop that in the oven and have it bake for approximately 45 minutes.
Open.
Thank you for watching.
And have a nice day.